I had my older sister who wrote a letter to me and said I could never spend time with my niece and nephew alone again. And I had my younger sister who quoted me every Bible verse and that there was and said, you know, you're going to hell.
My father always said, it's not what you believe, but it's how you take what you learn and apply it into a set of beliefs that work for you. So I'm not going to tell you that you have to have a rigid set of values in which you must operate your life, but as long as you know how to think and as long as you know how to process, you'll end up being fine. So he said, as long as you're educated, as long as you're making positive choices, if you're honest with me, I'm going to love you. So I knew for my father there was not going to be a rigid rejection. My father's just too wise and too important a church figure as a church leader to be able to do that. In 1981, in our Brethren Mennonite gay rights group called the Brethren Mennonite Council for Gay and Lesbian Concerns, I got my dad to write a column about what it was like to have me come out to him. I got my sister to write a column about what that meant, and then I wrote a column, and here were 3 people in the same family. Well, that was in 1981. That was almost unheard of, and we published our story, and I hadn't read that thing forever. Funny thing is, my dad, he's 96 years old, and he wrote a letter to his beloved Mennonite church about 9 months ago. And that darn letter went viral. Called A Letter to My Beloved Mennonite Church. And Dad has become very much a soldier for gay wedding. And he wants our Mennonite church to change and accept people. So what I did was I read his column in 1981 where he wasn't really in favor of gay rights, but he loved his son, and that was the overdominant thing. To where he is today at 96, 97, and he is this guy that everybody in the Mennonite church says, oh, he's our Moses, because he's telling the church we really have to change, and because his letter went viral on our publication here, it got like, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of views and all these thousands of shares, and it's really cool to have him as my father and to have him come to where I was, and I'm just really happy about that.
My roommate freshman year was someone I went to church with. And so when they found out I was gay, my pastor called me into his office and said, how dare I put myself in the realm of temptation by being a camp counselor with his kid who had spit in my cabin. And I was like, listen, 3rd through 5th graders are no temptation for me. Now the youth leaders, now that's some temptation for me, but you've got no problem with the kids. And they told all the kids that I was a bad, evil person, and that if I showed up to the church that they should not talk to me, that that would be bad. They told my parents that they should kick me out, and that the only way for me to find salvation and the most humane thing they could do would be to cut me off financially, and then I would never be able to go to college, and then I'd have to come and repent back to the church.